Just had this job come in. It's a cobalt head, turbocharged. Apparently one of the issues with these is one of the cylinders spark plug holes, they blow out. So they tried to put a helicoil in, but that didn't do nothing. So I'm going to build the threaded insert, and we're going to machine this to accept that threaded insert. So you can see here that actually most just pulled right through because there's really no material in there. So we got a bit of material to work with. So we'll just build a step down here, bring it out flush at basically exactly the same height as the rest of these. So basically now all we have to do is build an insert, and we're going to machine that out and thread it to accept whatever insert we make, and just have the internal threads on the insert the same as the spark plug, and make sure that that insert threads down to a shoulder to hold it, one, and keeps the spark plug at the same distance as the other ones for two. So that's what we're getting into. Here we go. Okay, so here's where we're at. This is what I got. Probably gonna run a 3/4 inch thread on the outside and 12 mil by 1.25 inside. It'll be 15 mils long with a shoulder of about 2 mil, and then we're just going to use 1 inch stock. I was just test fitting everything in here. By the way, I bought these clamps. They're from a welding table, but they thread right into the T-nuts here, so they're awesome. You can just clamp something down, and if you're not too worried about alignment. So we got to dial this up to the center, and then I'm going to drill this out, tap it to 3/4 16, and then we will make an insert on the lathe over there. That insert will thread into there, and we'll Loctite it and then pinch it down in. Alright, we're going to get this threaded up. Alright, so we got our little threaded insert made up, and I think what I'm going to do in order to keep this fastened in place is to drill and pin it after it's in place. Right now we've got our bore on center. I have drilled it through already with the tap drill size, and then I have this contraption here to get down into the hole. We're going to thread that down through, but first I want to run a counter bore here, and I know that from this face here to the top of the spark plug hole, oh man, that's worse. Anyway, to the top of where the spark plug sits there is 98.5 millimeters. So I've zeroed off the top of this, and I'll go down 98.5 millimeters and make my counter bore 2 millimeters past that. I'll chamfer that as well for when I thread it, and then this should go down and sit in the exact same spot in order to allow for the spark plug to sit in the exact same spot. And then, yeah, that'll be good. Once we get our counter bore down in our hole there, then we will chamfer it and thread it, and that should allow us to put our insert in. Yeah. Hard to see down in there, but it's counterboard. So I'm just using a drill here to reach down, because otherwise I can't get something to chamfer that in there anyways. So I'm going to touch off there, and I'm only going to take it down a little ways just to get an angle in there to allow for a chamfer. Alright, we're going to put our tap center in there. I just want to get this started right on center, so that's why I am using the tap center. That's about as far as we're going to make it. So now that I've run the starter tap in there, I'm probably going to disassemble this off of the mill. That puts my tap on center. The rest of it I can do just on the bench now that everything's centered and straight. So I'm trying to get to a point where the taper of the tap is just there a little bit, enough that when I screw the insert into the head, it actually taper locks on itself with the threads. And then with the Loctite, that should be enough to hold it right into place. So that's what I'm into right now. I have a couple other jobs that are going to need this mill today, so I'm just going to get this off. The tap that I was using for the 14 mil by 1.25 is actually out of ThreadCert tap for, I think it's a 12 mil. Anyway, it's actually cut undersize. It's a special tap that's cut undersize so that you actually thread undersize. And then when you put the ThreadCert in, you run a tool through that which actually expands the ThreadCert into the thread. and holds it. So I thought I was going to get away with it just because it's so close. It's like 13.96 or something. But anyway, I ordered a tap. Should be here in a couple days. As long as I got this done by the end of the week, shouldn't be any issues. So that's the plan so far. We're going to wait for that new tap to show up. I can still probably get this close and ready to thread in. But yeah, when I get everything wrapped up and blah blah blah, you'll be the first to know. Okay, great. So until then, let's fast forward 2 days to when Amazon arrives. Bam. Okay, so we're back at it, and I'm just running a plug tap here until I see about 2 of the thread forms come through this side, and then that should be roughly close to where we want to be. Yeah. Tapped a hole through here. Put a small, very small hole through the side of this, which actually goes into the threads a little bit. So once this is installed with a bit of red Loctite, we're going to use this pin. Man, you can't even see that. Yeah. We're going to use this pin. We're going to drive that down in to lock this in place. Even though the red Loctite should hold it, it's just an added safety measure. And that's going to go halfway through these threads and halfway through the threads of the hole. And then that way it can't turn back out. The other beauty is once the spark plug goes in, it will cover that and it will be able to come back out. So it's a positive lock. It'll work great. Hopefully, as long as all of our depths are set properly. So we're going to install that right now. Do it. Alright, hopefully everything goes smooth. Well, that is sitting roughly where the other one should sit. We're down a little bit just because of the insert, but I'm going to let that set for a bit. And then hopefully just pull that spark plug right out. Okay, so that's installed. So now we're just going to try and find a way to get a pin, this pin, tiny pin down that hole. And yeah, installation complete. I got nothing to do with that shit. She didn't go in as far as I'd hoped she would have. Thinking time. I don't know if you can see down there or not, But there is a very small pin in there. So I said, well, I'll just use stainless TIG rod. And that started to bend, so I pulled that out. Tried another piece, didn't work too well. So I ended up cutting the end off of the same size drill bit. And that was a lot tougher, and it was able to basically cut down through the thread on the aluminum so that it locks it together. So I'm pretty happy with the way this all turned out. So it's ready to go back to the customer now. We'll be able to thread a spark plug in there somewhere here. And he'll be able to thread a spark plug in there too. There we are there, and there it is there. Now, unlike yourself, I would prefer it to be flush with this, but in this instance, on this repair, this is pretty good. And most helicoils will sit back a little bit anyway, so that's fine. We're going to deburr the edge of this so that they don't get any gunk down into their motor, and then we'll give it a quick blow off, but it'll be up to them to clean it before installing. Well guys, that's it for this one, and I hope you enjoyed my trials and tribulations on this blown out spark plug, but it's a typical thing, right? Time cert would be okay. They actually push the threads out into the other threads. For something like this, I would honestly probably prefer, like, I can't even remember the name of them. I'll look it up. It'll be posted here. But I like those because they have 4 stakes that'll push down in and lock it in place once it's in. For this instance, this is going to work really well. It's going to create a nice tight seal, and there won't be any way for the compression to get back up through. Alright guys, until next time, see you later, Buzzy.